Going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody had a great Thursday, great week, wild week, a lot of volatility to the upside, to the downside. Welcome to the channel, guys. Appreciate all of the subscribers, everybody interacting in the comments. Appreciate it. I enjoy reading everybody's opinions on cryptos and stocks. So welcome. Hope everybody hangs around and is enjoying these videos. This morning, it is 5:15 on the Friday, the 17th of February. We are going to look at Big Data Protocol, ticker symbol BBBY. This would be /Tether. Let me get over to the correct tab here so you can see. So this is also the Gate.io data, BDP/USDT, Big Data /Tether, and the data is from Gate.io. TradingView.com is the charting service. Wow, what a run this thing has made. Just for the heads up, I do not own this. I probably have never even looked at this chart until this morning, so I don't have any financial attachment to this. Had a request from a viewer, so we're going to check this out. I have some levels on the chart and kind of my thoughts moving forward here. Huge run, huge breakout from a higher low. We'll discuss that on a percentage basis. From our breakout, we are currently up 654%. Looks like the high was 1,800%. So keep in mind, guys, whether you think this or don't think this, just open up your minds and just listen to this. Anything is possible in these markets. For a stock to go from 4 cents, or a cryptocurrency, to go from 4 cents all the way up to almost 80 cents, 1,800% move. If you told somebody that who isn't an investor or a trader or doesn't really have any knowledge on the markets, they would think 1,800%. How is that possible? There's no way. The markets are crazy and anything's possible. There is so much money. I always refer it to as like all the money. Where's all the money? All the money is like in the markets, real estate markets, stocks, derivatives, crypto. That's where all the money is. That's where all the big players are. You see all these guys on Wall Street, these traders, these fund managers, these guys who start these brokers. That's where all the money's at. It's in the markets in one way or another. So anyways, getting back to the chart. Huge, huge move. Now, let's take a step back. Could you have caught this move? Well, we're going to see here. So let's take a little bit of a step back here, and then we'll get into some recent times. So just hang in there, have some patience, sit back and enjoy. So we have a extremely volatile crypto here. We have basically a solid downtrend of lower highs and lower lows. So we have here, after this massive sell-off, we have basically a lower high, double bottom to a rally, just about breaks into new highs, gets crushed, and then we get some more lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, equal high, basically inverse head and shoulders forming, higher low. Higher lows are key, guys. I've spoken about them in prior videos over many months, probably going back to the early days of the channel. Higher lows, and then we get a higher high, a nice confirmed breakout that gets crushed at resistance. We'll talk about resistance levels on my chart. Basically a lower high, choppy, or a lower low, another lower low, lower high, and then a steady grind to the downside. And then we have this rounding bottom here. And then we rally out of there. Higher high. The key is, if you do not know already, is right here was a higher low. And if you were willing to step up to the plate and buy some big data protocol with a higher low, you would have found yourself quickly in a very big profit as this thing exploded to the upside. And I've spoken about this when stocks and cryptos are in a grinding market, whether it's choppy sideways, whether it's down and ugly like this. I'm not saying that it's going to go up, but when they print a higher low after a long and down and dirty, ugly chart, if you can spot that higher low ahead of the majority, that next higher high that comes, which is all of this move right here, you can find yourself in a nice profit. Now, of course, it can fail. It doesn't work every time, but you have to be able to. Markets are the biggest game in the world, pretty much. The derivative markets, crypto markets are pretty big, but they have a long, long way to go. The stock market, they don't make it easy for a reason. It's where all the money's at. You have to find an edge and stick with it and trust your edge. And if your edge is spotting higher lows and then looking for a breakout, it's not a bad place to start, in my opinion, of course. Not financial advice, guys. So right here, we had a higher low and it rocketed higher. We broke out basically at right around $1, rocketed all the way up to resistance at, or not $1, 10 cents, excuse me, rocketed all the way up to 18 cents and then went a little farther up to 24 cents, all from a higher low. So that was roughly a 140, 120 or so % move. So the key is to spot those higher lows, and that will keep you ahead of the majority of the crowd, and you'll be looking for a breakout to come. So let's clean this chart up real quick. If I can do this. I tried to keep this one solid line. There we go. And then we'll get into some upper price areas. So obviously, unless you are already in this thing has made a massive, massive run. Like I said, roughly 1,800% from the higher high. It's actually way more than that from down here at the rounding bottom. Unless you are looking for a long-term, you were cost averaging in this, most of you probably aren't long from down here at the 1 cent range or 2 cent range. But from that all the way up, I mean, you have a 2,000% move from where we're at now, and then you have a 5,000% move up to there to that 80 cents. So from 1 cent to 80 cents, roughly, pretty wild. So as this thing has moved to the upside, we've hit upper targets basically perfectly. So we could see, and we are seeing resistance, which is what takes place. So if this was my chart, as in I own this, I'm looking for targets to the upside, I'm looking for higher lows, I'm looking for higher highs, I'm buying breakouts, I have my upper resistance target levels on the chart. Well, when this thing rocketed up to our 18 cent range, which is one of our targets here, we found resistance over here in the April timeframe. This level still holds valid. We had a little price. I could actually zoom this in so it's easier to see. We had a little price volatility at this level, which is what takes place. We had a big reversal on this candle here on the second. Some more follow through, and then we had a big shakeout. So on that date, this date right here, which is the 5th of February this year, this month, that was a big shakeout that found support. That should have indicated to you that this thing is potentially going higher. The next day, We rocketed higher, 44% day, guys, the next day. Huge day. If anybody is long this, let me know in the comments. And if you feel like sharing where you're long from, I would be happily open to that. Just for entertainment purposes. If you don't want to share it, I totally understand. And then the next day we had a 112% day. So we had resistance there at 18 cents. We surpassed our 25-cent level, which is right here. We went past our 35 and our 49. Finally, resistance came in at 59.3. So we had, like I said, we would have had these levels on the chart if we were in this crypto. But since today is our first day looking at it, we added these levels this morning. They will stay on the chart moving forward, assuming we talk about and make more videos about big data protocol. So resistance came in at 59,300 perfectly. As you can see, we wicked above that and have been pulling back and basically ping-ponging in between our levels here, which is what you'll see when you get a cluster of levels this close together. And then this morning, we are backing off here from our 35,707 level. And then below the market as potential support is 25,320. So we're in between this range here. So what's possible? Well, we're obviously getting a pullback here. We pulled back off resistance. This thing could potentially find support at any one of our levels and continue its rally higher. It could start today at 25,320, which is right here. It could head down to 18,118, down to the 18-cent range and find support. So it's really anybody's guess. I definitely don't know where it'll stop. What I can tell you is I will watch these levels and look for a stop at or very close to one of those levels. Just like support showed up right here on the 9th of February, and it wicked down to our 25,320 level. And then we actually had a decent rally 2 days after. I would look for the same thing, but at one of these levels in the future, in the near term here, if I was looking to buy this. We could also argue that this high here, old resistance, could turn into support, and that would once again take us down to 25,320, the 25-cent line right here. There's some resistance here, which the price is below, so that didn't hold so far at support, and that was at that 35,707 level. So like I said, I'll keep these lines on the chart, and I will read them off to you right now, and we have some much higher price targets we'll talk about before we wrap this video up. Guys, if you find this video entertaining or helpful or just enjoy it, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hit the thumbs up. Appreciate it. So our levels here are 18,118. That's our level number 1. 25,320. 25,320. Above that, 35,707. That's where the price found resistance at today. Above that is 49.9. Above that is 59,300. And then above that is 83. We'll just call it 83. So if we take a zoom out here on the chart, let's get some data going back to the early days here. We have some much higher price targets, if you can see. If you're still hanging around in this video, let me know in the comments. Much, much higher price targets up there at $5.56. $5, guys. And then up there at $7.77. So this thing could easily be in a vicious pullback, find support somewhere here, and then that would be a higher low. Keep that in mind. Another higher low could take place, and then we could see this thing rocket higher, potentially hitting our upper targets. Depends on what the market does. Bitcoin had a nasty reversal yesterday. Not the most bullish day. So we'll even see if that holds or if we continue the uptrend. But we had a nice breakout. Yesterday was disgusting and nasty. And maybe that was a blow off top. If that's the case, most cryptos definitely won't be able to hold an uptrend. So keep that in mind as we move forward here. You could be looking for a higher low and then a higher high. So where would you look for an entry point? You would look for a new higher high to take place, and you would buy a breakout from that. So just like a cup with handle, if we spoke about this and we call this a cup with handle, I'm sure it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, actually, the more that I look at it. Let's go back and fix that level. Call this a cup with handle here. And then we have the handle. The entry would be the high in the cup. So it would be like right there, and you would buy that breakout right in there. So if we fast forward to where we're currently at, let's clean this up so it's not confusing anybody. We have a wedge taking place here, some kind of a pullback. If this was a cup with handle, that would be the handle high, and then you would buy that breakout when it breaks past that. And that could get you in a nice big run. It would have got you in here. The key is what most people aren't willing to do is keep buying breakouts and getting stopped out. And they fail and they fail and they fail and they fail 5-6 times. And then on the 7th or 8th time, you don't buy the breakout. And that's the one that runs like this, hundreds, if not thousands of %. So they don't make it easy. There's shakeouts in many different forms. One of them is time, and then other ones, volatility, price movement. So that's my thoughts. Look for that higher low. Look for a break, a higher high. And if you are looking to get in, that's where I would be getting in. Not financial advice, guys. I could be totally wrong. This thing could be crushed back down to below our, it's actually messed up on the chart, but it's right around 18 cents with our lowest support right now. I have to adjust this lower price level. So that's my thoughts on Big Data Protocol. Hopefully you enjoy. And if you're long this thing, like I said, feel free to share from where you're long from. If you don't mind sharing that in the comments. I find it very cool that lives can be changed in the markets, both in a good way and in a bad way. So be smart out there. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a great Friday. Thanks for hanging around if you're still watching this video. Exciting times in the markets. And let's see. Maybe we'll have a bullish Friday.